But
Yeah.
yeah. So just thinking of Fergie now. So in terms of like greatest player that he's had, because there's arguments of, Messi, Ronaldo, all that type of stuff. But in terms of the player for him, who was the greatest
Yeah.
there? Because you've got options, haven't you? You've got like the most decorated gigs. But I think the most
Yes.
influential is probably Cantona.
I think it's Cantona. I agree with you. It's very close. Ronaldo comes very
It
close now
does.
as well. And they did that amazing thing where he says to Ronaldo, I mean, imagine this now. He goes, Ronaldo's born in Madeira. He's like a Portuguese kid. He's always wanted to play for Real Madrid, right? It's his dream. United sign him, he takes him in. And he kind of says to Fergie, look, I want to go to Real Madrid at one point. And Fergie goes, okay, blah, blah. The only other club that you could possibly say, or bigger than Manchester United in many respects, but the two biggest clubs in the world, you'd probably argue. And he goes, but give me one more year, son. Give me another year, and I'll let you go the year after. And Ronaldo goes, okay. And he plays for him, and they win the title. I think they might even win the European Cup. And off he goes. And I just thought, isn't that brilliant that how much Ronaldo respected him? And there's that great moment where we know very well where Wales had that amazing 2016 Euros. And in the final, Portugal win it. And they're walking on the steps. And Fergie kind of leans out when they're walking
like
down
a father, wasn't he? Yeah.
Let's go, boss. Him and Nani, which is a lovely moment. It's just beautiful to watch. And so Ronaldo's a very, very close second. And obviously, there's all those others like Keane and Rooney, Giggs, poor Giggs, he gets because of everything, all the controversy around him now. But actually, forget what a great footballer he was in the sense of what he achieved at Manchester, one club man, and what he's done. And it was such a shame with the Welsh FA. They talk now about him as a manager and tactically absolutely superb. And he was the most famous man in the room, and they went away. So we've lost that with Giggs. But I always think that the catalyst for him winning that first title, and the one that he laments the most when he retired, and that he spoke so affectionately about, and all those great stories you get now of Giggs tells a story now where they all have to turn up in blazers and ties and all the rest of it. And Giggs had his button undone, and Fergie straight over to him, "Do your button up, son? You're a disgrace."
It's standards.
Cantona walks in with almost like a sort of like a desert suit on, which is like breaks every rule. And Fergie goes, "Well, what about him now?" And he goes, he looks great, son. Do you know, it's like,
but
players love that. They love that soft spot for Cantona.
But
do you know what I mean?
But even with that, that I wouldn't say favoritism. It's just knowing how to manage certain people. He'd done it with humour, and he didn't just say, "Well, this is the rules for him." He'd done it with humour.
Yeah.
So he knew how to manage all these players, and he was brilliant. Yeah. I've watched the documentary on him. I loved it.
And that's part of it. It's knowing when to do things with humour. He talks about as he got older, he stopped the hairdryer, treat. In Aberdeen, he would kick the tea urn over and things like that. He was a young man then. He was in his 30s, and sort of like in his early 40s. So he was full of fire. And there's that great bit of footage. If anybody watches this, just Google it. Have a look at YouTube and look Fergie angry after winning the cup with Aberdeen. So they win the cup. And he's on the pitch going, we were a disgrace. We were a disgrace. We should have, And he's just won the cup. And funnily enough, he talks about that moment in his docs and stuff. And he goes, I shouldn't have done that, looking back. He says, I shouldn't have done it because I could see now they'd won the cup. They'd done what they needed to do and it didn't matter. But actually, if I sat opposite him, I'd go to him, no, don't change because that was you. You being like that made those players like that. Don't be hard on yourself. Everything in life that you've done to. I always say to young people, bless them, when they ask me, I do talks about students and stuff, and I go, the hardest thing I'm going to say to you now, and I said this is the truth, you will learn more by your mistakes than anything else.
100%.
And I said, what feels awful at the time and terrible, it's amazing how much you learn from that, and I think Fergie was definitely one of those people that kind of always learned from what he did and sort of, right, okay, I can do that better, and that's the journey for us all, Leroy, isn't it?
It is 100%. It's having that resilience and understand and humility, isn't it? Because he was a humble man, and he still is a humble man, because he's got that, as you say, that humble working class, shop steward background, and he took that to the pinnacle of sport.
He did, and he's in lectures all over the world, and he's massively in demand. And obviously, Manchester United are in a funny place, but they've got rid of him now as sort of club ambassador, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. But I seen him in Forest. A quick funny story. The Forest are playing them in the League Cup, Manchester United, and Fergie's there. So my missus drops me and her nephew off, and my nephew as well, who was a big Forest fan, and Fergie's there. But when she dropped us off, she went, look, I'll pick you up later. She went, but don't ask me to come in. She said, because I've just finished work and all the rest of it, and my hair's in a bobble, and I've got a 30 fleece on. I'm not going to do it. We're like, okay, no problem. Anyway, we go in, and Fergie's there. So I go over, and I go, so sorry to bother you, Sir Alex. I says, can any chance I could have a selfie? Yeah, and my nephew as well. But my nephew, which was great, my nephew was like 14, 15. He's like, it's Alex Ferguson. And there's loads of contemporary managers and footballers in the room. And he's like, it's Alex Ferguson. So I'm like, yeah, that's all. I go over. He's lovely and polite. And I go, oh, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, great. And as I'm walking away, one of the directors goes, oh, that's Jonny Owen who just did the Three Kings. Then he, oh, son, are you the one who did the film? I'm like, yeah. And you did the film about Clough? Yeah, oh, fantastic. So we have a bit of a chat. Brilliant. He couldn't be any nicer. So anyway, I go to walk away again. The same director goes, and his wife's in Line of Duty. And he goes, oh, that's my favourite TV show. I love that show. So we're like, oh, brilliant. So anyway, the match finishes. We go out to my missus. We get in the car and I go, you're going to have to come back in. And she goes, I've told you this. I am not going to. And Effie goes, but Auntie Vicky, it's Alex Ferguson and he knows who you are. So she goes, come on in, let's go in.
Hair down.
Yeah. We run in and he's delighted. Oh, we chat for about half an hour and he's going, oh, I love this bit. And we get everybody gets on brilliantly. And at the end, I'll never forget this. I'll take this to I'll send you the photograph so you can put it up.
Oh, yes, please.
He goes, Can I get a selfie with the doll? And she goes, yes. So there's a selfie of Vicky McClure with Sir Alex Ferguson.
Yeah.
The brilliant image and photograph. But, that was him. And after that, I'd always thought he was the greatest manager domestically, certainly, ever. But after that, it was like, he is, because you go away, I just can't believe I've spoken to him, and he had a good chat, and he was great, and he was warm, and he was funny, and he was talking about old stories to us. It was great, so... Yeah, they say don't meet the heroes, but I'm glad I met.
It's crazy that